You're listening to EGU Radio.
Buongiorno a tutti. This is Professor Aharon Fait from the Blaustein Institutes, and I'm here today to tell you about a new event bridging between Italy and Israel, between climate change, science, and art. And we have today a fantastic guest that will present this event. He is Dr. Stefano Ventura, Senior Researcher at the National Research Council, specialized in microbial ecology and cyanobacteria in extreme environments. He is now the Scientific Attaché at the Italian Embassy in Israel. Welcome, Stefano.
Welcome to all of you that are listening to this program, and I'm very pleased to be with you now.
Stefano, tell us a little bit about this amazing event that is opening at the Blaustein Institute for Desert Research.
Yes, it's an exhibition. It's a photographic exhibition of special environments, the mountain environments, mostly in Italy, but not only in Italy. You would ask why mountains in Sede Boker? Because mountains like polar regions and deserts are environments in which the climate change is stronger than in other normal environments. So we thought that the Sede Boker Campus was the right place to show this exhibition of pictures, very nice pictures taken on Italian mountains. They are series of pictures, group of photographs taken from the same place at around 100 years from each other. So for each mountain, we have a series of 2 or 3 pictures taken from the same place in 100 years. And what we found, that there is an incredible retreat of the glaciers that can be seen in almost all sites. So these mountains focus on the most dramatic effect of climate change in the mountains, that is glacier retreats.
And this exhibition is called Italian Roots, right?
Yes, Italian roots, the roots that are running into the mountains. And so we can see how the mountain environment is changing in the last century, even more than 1 century. Apart from the beauty of the pictures themselves, the message is absolutely clear. I would say brutal message. Ice is disappearing, glaciers are gone, and the mountain landscape completely modified, destroyed. The transformation is irreversible. And without ice, heat accumulates and the changes are going faster and faster. So the message that is given by this exhibition is rather disturbing, but is important. We have to consider a lot of consequences of the climate change in the mountains and also in the deserts. Soil erosion, floods that alternate to dryness periods, strong impact on climate, on the ecosystem, on social life, on agriculture, and even on tourism. And these phenomena also happen in deserts. The reduction of rainfalls, the increase in temperature, and a few very intense events with devastating floods. So our ecosystem is changing, and the deserts and mountains and polar regions, I would say, they are more exposed to this change. And if we don't act rapidly, the change will be irreversible.
Now, the climate change usually is told to be related to migration of people, migration of populations. Especially, we hear populations from Africa or from Asia moving towards richer countries. So can you tell us maybe how in these 100 years or 50 years, how did the social community and the social balances of the mountainous population change? Did they change in respect to work? Did they move to the cities? How about the younger population from mountainous community? Are they still holding on in the mountains despite these dramatic changes that you described?
Yes. I would say at the beginning of the last century, in the first half of the last century, the mountain environment was on average a poor environment. There were poor places and people had a harsh life. So there was a movement from the mountains to the plains and to the cities. Young people left the mountain villages and went down to town to find a job, to find an easier life. Things changed in part of the mountains with the arrival of the tourists. So in the second half of the last centuries and still now, there has been a strong arrival, a strong touristic industry developing in the mountains, mostly linked to winter tourism, to skiing resorts, to skiing places that brought people to the mountains, brought richness there, but also strongly impact the landscape because the slope for skiing were built, forests were cut, and fluxes of people in a limited period of the year were very intense. And it was very difficult to balance the structure of the stable social society there with the arrival of so many tourists in a short time. But overall, mountain regions became richer. And so people decided to live there, to stay there. Local people decided to open activities there, working activities, mostly linked to tourism. The last, I would say, 20 years at least, the effect of climate change and temperature increase is really challenging. Also the touristic industry, because the snow precipitation is decreasing, there's less snow for a shorter period, and higher temperatures, so the quality of the snow is not so good. And this is really a changing time. I don't know, I'm not sure the ski industry could continue at the same pace that it's now. So it's a complex picture. On one side, there was a strong poverty, but then it was replaced by touristic activity. And now winter tourism is going into some troubles.
Also due to the pandemic, I suppose.
Oh, the pandemic is limited to 3 years, to 2 years. And of course, it had a terrible impact. The winter season was blocked for 2 years. Now, this year seems that it will be partially restored. So the impact is very strong, but it's a temporary impact. What is more significant is the weather. The weather is changing. The snow precipitation is decreasing, and the skiing season is shrinking. And this is for the winter.
Yes, this reminds me about the Economist issue of this week that talks about predictable unpredictability of the period we are living in. So tell me another thing. Within the frame of this exhibition that will last a couple of months at the Blaustein Institute, there will be also 2 separate webinars, right, in January?
Yes, we thought that it was a good occasion to widen the discussion, not only to look into the pictures and learning from the exhibition, but also going in deep in a few topics that are tightly related. The first webinar on the 19th of January will be on glaciology. So we'll see what happens with the melting of glaciers in the mountains compared with transforming water dynamics in the desert. There will be 2 speakers, one from a glaciologist from Italy and an expert of soil, desert soil from Sede Boker. And then we also have a look to the impact that this changing water dynamics in the mountains will have on the human population, on those living there and those going there for tourism. There will be a medical doctor expert in mountain life that will give also a presentation. 1 week after, we'll concentrate on agriculture in high mountains and deserts.
Okay. So, Stefano, I think we covered these events, and I would like to say that this event is being organized with the Embassy of Italy in Tel Aviv, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Institute for Italian Culture, the Blaustein Institute for Desert Research, Ben Gurion University of the Negev.
I just want to underline one weak point. We will have a webinar on viticulture, heroic viticulture, but since there are webinar, we are not able to taste the special wines. That's a pity, but I feel that we will have new opportunities to taste the wines from the high mountains and the desert, of course.
Actually, you will have this opportunity because once you are going to be in Midreshet Ben Gurion at the Sede Boker Campus, looking at this amazing picture, then you could go and taste some wine from the Negev Desert.
I will take the opportunity to do that, surely.
Fantastic. Many thanks, Stefano. This is it from BGU radio station. I hope to see you all at the Jacob Blaustein Institute for this amazing event.
See you in the Boker. Goodbye.